Hey everyone, this podcast is part of Story Mode, the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. You can support us and gain access to other great exclusive podcasts at patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Yeah, it was like fairgrounds food though.
Oh, dope.
So
yeah.
like it was like a caramel sauce. I feel disgusting.
Oh yeah, no,
I feel ashamed of myself.
I haven't eaten anything yet today, but I was eating some garbage last night during movie night. So.
Hi everybody.
Hello everyone.
My name is David Bell.
My name isn't. Isn't that weird? It's Tom Ryman.
It is. We just watched The Big Cube.
The Big Cube.
Yeah, it's the cube one. Get fucking ready, folks.
Yeah,
we're doing it.
The bit continues.
Hey, how about us enlisted men?
This is the cube. The big one. The sugar cube they load with LSD. The cube that takes you off on the trip. The trip that starts with a giggle and ends with a scream.
Hey, big thanks to Burrito Mouth.
Big cube thanks.
Our cube expert, Burrito Mouth, who was like, hey, watch 1969's The Big Cube.
Yep.
A film nobody
starring
saw.
extreme late career Lana Turner.
Yeah, this is a film I don't think anybody saw, so we'll probably run you through the plot as best we can, because also this is a weird movie.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's we did all the things, right? It's Thursday. This is a classic, brought to you by one of our Patreon producers. Yeah, we just did that. Okay.
Burrito Mouth.
So this is a 1969
It
drama?
sure is, Tom. It's like a propaganda film. It's like a Reefer Madness type of film, but little more compelling than that.
Yeah, it actually had a story, and then it seemed like they added the drug stuff in there just to make it topical. I don't know.
Yeah, for people who are wondering, the Big Cube refers to a cube of sugar in which you would then put acid on, or LSD.
Yeah, it's a big thing. This movie is very concerned with late 60s LSD culture. Yeah,
it's... All right, I guess I want to start with the fact that it's not a bad idea for the broad strokes, but it is a bad movie, and it's considered a bad movie.
Yeah.
So the basic idea of... So... The plot is that it's a Jesus.
All right.
So it's this young girl.
You got it. All right.
Yeah, it's this young girl who has a new stepmom who is a theater actress, and this young girl also starts dating a doctor who
he's a med student.
A med student.
Yep.
He's like the fucking scarecrow. He's just like his go-to is that he'll dose people he doesn't like.
Yeah, he is the scummiest just caricature of a villain you could possibly imagine. Every cliche idea of a sleazy bad guy is rolled into this character they even named him Johnny. Like, come on.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's just the
actor
go-to dipshit name.
The actor had to shave his body for the role because he's very hairy. I learned this on IMDb trivia.
Sure.
And so he had to shave his body because he's supposed to be a young guy. They're all supposed to... That's the other thing. Everybody in this movie is 60.
Right.
Every single person in this movie is 60 years old.
They're supposed to be college students, but Johnny is supposed to be the same age as Lisa, who's the daughter, but he looks the same age as Lana Turner, who's the stepmom.
Yeah, for sure. So basically what happens is... the dad dies at sea. That was a choice.
He sure fucking does. He gets lost at sea.
Lost at sea, which I thought was going to play into the plot. Like, he'll come back.
Okay. We really... We're underselling how wild that is. The first chunk of this movie is it starts out very like almost like the Batman TV show. It's
The
very
credits
like,
are so 70s.
it's very Beach Blanket Bingo for the first maybe half hour, and it's all about Lisa, who inexplicably has a heavy Swedish accent.
Yeah, and then her friend who is extremely horny.
Oh, yeah, her friend Bibi, the horniest person who has ever existed.
Yeah, she says, let's call half a dozen guys and have an orgy.
Yep.
Like, it feels like she has a brain tumor.
Yeah, she is a
it's something-
character. She's a boogeyman character written by like a 68-year-old screenwriter who's terrified
Yes.
of youth culture.
Yes,
like that's,
all the
that's what
youths
this
in this.
character is. Yeah, they're all
They say
maniacs in this
lines
movie.
like, just find yourself another daddy, she suggests at one point when they're hanging out to surf music. She says, sweetness, baby, flow with the tide. These are the lines. These
Yeah.
are the lines in the movie.
authentic
that the youth-
teenage slang.
Yeah.
So, like, the first chunk of this movie is just like Lisa being apprehensive about her dad getting remarried because, like, she thinks her new stepmom Lana Turner is a bit of an ice queen. They
Right.
don't like. She's like, oh, I don't want some new woman coming in and making rules in my house. So she gets swept off her feet by this dipshit Johnny, who's taking her to his acid parties. And basically shows her how, like, yeah, he just casually doses people who piss him off.
Again, can't stress this enough. This is like a Scarecrow origin story.
Yeah,
Johnny
'cause he's a
is
med
at a
student.
party.
He's a med student who makes his own drugs and then throws
Right.
parties so that he can surreptitiously dose people and watch and see what happens.
Right. Well, the first time they're at like a club, but it's
Yeah.
like it looks like this cafeteria at Epcot Center. It's like real weird, like
Yeah.
almost like oddly sterile stage club, and he doses a guy. And this is a world where acid pretty much does whatever you need it to do.
Yeah.
So the guy like starts screaming, "They're trying to steal my face,"
Yeah.
and freaks out. And it's because the guy's like rude to him. I forget what the guy did to deserve getting overdosed on LSD.
He comes in and he mentions the fact that he's got like a record coming out in a few months, and he's like, hey, you guys can say that you were hanging out with me before I was famous. And it's like it's a little douchey, but like it's extremely minor. And yeah, like Johnny the fucking Scarecrow just decides, fuck this guy forever.
Yeah. Fuck him. Fuck his entire existence.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can't. It's so. Oh God.
So this is the first
And
chunk of
also,
this
he's
movie.
wearing. What is the necklace he's got on?
Oh, I forget.
He's got like a gold chain necklace. He's
Yeah.
in all black. The whole
Yeah.
party. It's like the least. And again, it's written by like some old guy, but like God, it's like the most irritating group of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
The club is like
And
has like
they're
shitty
all-
graffiti on the wall.
Yeah, it's a big open room,
like
so it's clear
beige.
that. Yeah, it's just again, it's real Batman '60s. It looks like a villain's
Yeah.
lair. It's just like this real weird minimalist, just owing to like its low budget of the time. But it's like this minimalist club that doesn't really exist.
Right.
Like no
Remember,
club is one big room.
Yeah, I want to
with,
talk
like,
about
no
this
furniture.
club a bunch. Yeah. Remember Queen Bee?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's dressed like a party clown?
Yes.
She comes in. It's like they say something like "dig what the tide brought in."
Yeah.
And Queen Bee walks in, and it's so cartoony the styles that she looks like a party clown. I
Yeah.
don't know how else to.
There's no other way to say it.
Yeah,
So yeah, this
he's dropping acid in
it's
the
like
beers.
yeah, they're just dropping acid, and it's oh man. But the point is this is like the first half hour of this movie is just like Lisa getting introduced to Johnny's weird friends and his fucking burgeoning supervillain career.
Yeah, Tom, I'm not done talking about this club. Real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about what he does to this guy who he doses.
Oh yeah, sure.
Because he doses him, it kicks in extremely fast. He screams, "My face! Don't steal my face!" He gets dragged away by what looks like future cops.
Yes.
I guess there's just supposed to be
After a
cops.
very long time, though, it takes the cops
Yeah.
a very long time to
They're
intervene.
wearing like silver helmets.
yeah, they look like Logan's Run police.
Yes, and this is all supposed to just be normal life.
This is normal. This is the normal world. Like, yeah, this isn't like
Yeah.
a dystopia or anything.
The cops refer to him as a beach boy. You notice that? they keep talking about the Beach Boy that Johnny dosed, and that made me laugh a lot because I could only picture a Beach Boy.
God only knows.
And then it reveals that he escaped the cops off camera and got hit by a car.
Yeah. This happens off camera. Like it's a scene or two later, it's Johnny getting called into like the dean of medical school's office to tell him that man you recklessly dosed escaped from the police and ran into the street and was killed by a truck. You're now expelled.
They expel him. With the note, they say it cost the taxpayers thousands of dollars to prepare a young man for medicine. Were we paying for people to go to medical school
Apparently.
at one point? That's great. That's an awesome deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he gets kicked out of medical
how did
school
they
for
know?
killing a man.
I mean,
Yeah, how did they go to him and they're like, so we heard that you dosed a man. And it's like, what, at his fucking weird party club?
who told you? The future
Who told
cops?
them? Yeah, the future cops, I guess. It was a precog thing.
Yeah.
The precogs figured it out.
Did BB tell you? Did she come in like, dig this, see what the tide just washed in or whatever?
Yeah. God damn it.
He dosed this guy because he has an album coming out in 2 months. Which, believe me, I've wanted to poison the dude that whips out an acoustic guitar at a party before too.
Of course. So yeah, this is the beginning of the movie. They're partying. It's the 70s, baby. Everybody's talking like a lunatic.
Yeah,
everybody's talking like they have brain damage.
Interspersed with that is like a couple of scenes of Lana Turner's character rehearsing a play or whatever because she's a big time stage actress.
Yeah, it's her last show, right?
Yeah, I think so.
She retires and marries.
I meant to say this earlier. I watched this movie twice.
Yeah.
Consecutively, like as soon as I finished it, watching it for this podcast, I started it over again because I was convinced that I had missed something. So we have like Lisa's journey into Johnny's bullshit world and terrible friends, and then Lana Turner's getting ready for her final performance, and then all of a sudden they're just lost at sea.
Yeah. There's just, the way they do it is wild. Because they have a couple scenes like this. There's the art show.
Oh, yeah.
They introduce it by like flashing art at the screen, and it's like, fuck.
Right. And he becomes like a mate. I fucking forgot about him. I watched this movie 2 times, and I forgot about an entire character. Johnny's living with that guy and his girlfriend.
Yeah. And so it's like there's a lot of like snap zooms and flashing bullshit. Mm-hmm. And so when the goddamn boat crash happens, it happens the same way. I was like, wait, was this a dream?
Right. Like
it happens like an acid sequence.
Right. I could not tell at first if it was a bad trip, if it was a nightmare, if it was something that was actually happening.
But it like flashes. It's her she's on the shore. She washes up. An ambulance gets her, and it like flashes with them at sea in a storm. And then if you leave the room to get a drink, you're completely miss it because it's a 20-second sequence. And then she wakes up in the hospital.
Right, and like boats and yachts and the possibility of being lost at sea were simply just never even suggested by anything that's happened yet in the film.
Yeah. So they learn that the father has been lost at sea. This is the halfway point of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like I paused the movie to be like, when is this happening?
Yeah, it's like 46 minutes.
Yeah. So
he leaves lost at sea.
He leaves the shittiest will you could ever leave somebody. Like he wants them to fight. His will states
they would make Netflix documentaries about this will. Like this is it's like
His will states that his daughter will get $1 million when she's 25. On top of that, when she marries, the entire trust will go to her. Under one condition is that his new wife approves of the man she's marrying.
Yeah.
So what that means is, hey, new wife, you get my entire trust unless my daughter gets married, but you have the control to stop her. So that's just toxic. It basically means,
baffling.
If you want this money, never let my daughter get married.
And why is it stipulated on that? It's
Why?
you would there would be books written about what a crazy bastard this guy was
Right.
to draft up a will like this.
Yeah, they read the will in front of Johnny, the scumbag med student,
Yeah.
Scarecrow, and he like comes when he hears the will.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh yeah.
Yeah, because his only goal here, if we haven't made it clear, is to just grift his way into millions of dollars.
Yeah, he's just a bad person.
He's just a villain. Even though he's in med school, like
Yeah,
he throws
daughters,
it.
you gotta watch out for these med students.
Yeah, he throws it all away so that he can get into some really circuitous scam with Lisa to swindle her out of her inheritance. It's a fucking baffling storyline for this man.
Right. During the morning sequence, this is why I thought something else was going to happen, because the character says the sea won't bring him back. So I thought I was like, oh, is he going to wash up? Like,
yeah, is it going to be like, what is it?
Is
like
he
the
gonna show
lighthouse
back
now?
up?
Is he going to be like a haunted merman?
I don't know. But that never. He's gone. He's done.
No,
He's done for the movie.
No,
It was such a weird way to kill him off because it's like lost at sea, not dead. And it was like, oh, I thought this movie was smarter and they would like have him come back, but nope. So their plan is to, and this is where I think the premise actually has promise for a thriller. The plan is Johnny is going to perpetually dose the mom and drive her mad so that they get the inheritance.
Yeah, it's Gaslight.
Because they gaslight her. Yeah.
It's literally the movie Gaslight.
Oh, okay.
Like
so they've already done this movie.
Well,
That's what I'm hearing.
the term comes from the movie where it's it's her husband keeps adjusting the gas lamp and then insisting that, like, she's like, the light's changing. He's like, no, it's not. What are you talking about? It's like, that's where it comes from. So it's like,
right.
yeah, it's like the same idea. It's just,
The idea, they could modernize this and make it not LSD, but like a future drug, and have it so that, like, she just doesn't know what's real and what isn't. Because they also, like, I'm not sure what's real and what isn't, because I'm not sure this movie knows what acid does. So, like, they go driving and they dose her, and then they just sort of shake her in front of a cliff.
Try to push her over a cliff and then smash a rock through the windshield, maybe?
Yeah. And then they say later, like, there was nothing wrong with the windshield. So I was like, wait, did any of that happen? And then later she hears their voices, and I was like, so this is the acid too? And we learn no. They tape recorded their voices. So I just didn't know, like, what are they actually doing and what aren't they doing?
Yeah.
I also don't know what the fucking plan is at this point. Also, no one seems to know that the mother has been clearly dosed. And, like, I don't know. It feels like when there's one med student who's got in trouble for dosing people, hanging out around this woman.
And then all of a sudden, like, the stepmom of his girlfriend who holds the keys to a multi-million-dollar trust is behaving erratically and her eyes are super dilated all the time.
And they're like, she must be losing her mind. Jesus fucking Christ. So the driving scene is absolutely baffling. I'm still not sure. Were they actually trying to kill her? Because they could have, right?
Because if she dies, they don't get the money. Like,
right. So they're just making her feel like she's gonna get killed.
I don't know how they. Because again, they show us stuff. They film it in the same way that they film other things that literally happened, like the getting lost at sea. So like the scene where like Johnny smashes a giant rock to the windshield, and then she's like, "No, he tried to smash me with a rock." And they're like, well, no, we checked the windshield and it's fine. There's been no damage. It's like real confusing because I don't know what they actually did.
No, yeah, I don't either. I don't think the movie knew.
No. I mean,
it's
yeah,
just
which
like
is
acid.
Right. It's a fair technique to do if we were like, if it stayed from Lana Turner's perspective, but it doesn't. Like it switches around to multiple characters. So it's like the rules kind of change whenever somebody's perspective changes. So it just makes everything very confusing.
It's all very confusing.
Yeah.
So the mom goes to the hospital because of her brain, and so they have an insufferable hippie wedding, with their horny, weird friends, listening to like. Did you notice that the music in this, except for the original song, which we'll get to, is like generic iDVD like music,
Yeah.
70s music. It's awful.
Yeah, no, they just got some commercial jingle person and paid
Yeah.
him $300. Just make some music that kids would be naked to. All
Yeah.
right.
At the wedding, Johnny immediately tries to fuck her horny friend,
Yeah.
and then they suggest a foursome with
Some
her,
guy?
Johnny, some Casey Kasem looking motherfucker, some 60-year-old who's like, "Hey, let's. How about the four
How
of
would-
us making it together?"
How
And
would
it's
you
what
like
the
to come back to my hotel room?
It's some real greasy fucking. I'm sure if you could close your eyes in your mind's eye, you can picture these motherfuckers.
No, I think you nailed
right?
it when you said Casey Kasem.
Yeah, they're all like 60s. Like this, I think I texted you this. This is a movie that like I'm surprised Mystery Science Theater didn't cover. Maybe they did.
They might have. This is like the Wild World of Batwoman. Like this.
Yeah.
It's 100% that kind of movie.
Everything looks bad. Everybody looks bad. Everybody's too old.
Everything
and,
about
like,
the movie is bad.
Yeah, it's like everybody looks like a narc. You know?
You're right. Everybody's the "Hello, fellow kids" meme.
Yeah, it's real like anti-LSD propaganda.
Yeah.
Jesus. So this is the point where, all right, the tape almost drives the mother mad. We talked about that briefly. Is she almost jumps out a window and the daughter stops, and then we learn that they tape recorded their voices telling her to die or telling her that she's gonna die.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, Johnny added extra, maybe you should jump out the window. And the daughter's like, I didn't know you added that. But like, what did she think was happening?
Yeah,
like-
they do a thing early on to sort of, I don't know. They have like Lisa, the daughter, be kind of not as into it anymore once they start doing it. But like, yeah, it's still.
But they don't.
What did you
they
think was
try-
going to happen?
She makes a 180 and
Yeah.
it's really fast. And then the movie's like, so we forgive her, right?
Right?
Let's
Yeah,
move
she's
on.
just good now. It's like, well, no,
Yeah.
like she hatched this plan pretty maliciously for like no reason really.
What I thought was going to happen,
Mhm.
and we'll get to what actually happens because it's nothing any of us could have predicted. But what I thought was going to happen is that Johnny being shitty on his wedding night, because she's like, he's real shitty.
Yeah,
And she says something like, get out. And he's like, it's my house now or something.
yeah,
I thought he was going to start scarecrowing her.
yeah.
And it was going to be like, oh, and she gets a taste of her own medicine and she now
Well, that-
has to
that
now
would be
she
like
has to
that would
deal
be
with
like a
him.
good movie with like
Right.
a point of view.
Yeah. Instead, what happens? She repents. She brings the tape to who does she bring the tape to? Because it's not the police. A
It's
doctor.
like her doctor friend, like her parents' rich friends, I think.
Right. So what you would do if you're a normal person is you'd bring the tape to the police and be like, here's what happened. But she brings it to a doctor friend. And so all these adults are now listening to the tape, learning what happened. And they don't say, okay, we need to get Johnny needs to be arrested. We need to find him, arrest him, call the police. They don't do any of that. They decide to Shutter Island the mom.
Yeah, to cure her because she has a memory block against what happened.
Yeah, which I was thinking, like, the cure can come later. Get the authorities,
Right, get the murderer,
nullify
perhaps.
the marriage stuff.
yeah.
Like, right now, he's still, like, in a position legally where he has control. Get all that sorted. Put him in jail. But they don't even think about putting him in jail.
Nope.
Instead, they say, all right, so you know how she's a theater actress and she has erased her memory of being dosed on LSD. We're going to put on a play
Yeah.
about her life
Mm-hmm.
and recreate it so that she'll remember.
Oh, they sure do, Dave.
What's absolutely wild is that they do this in front of a full audience.
Yeah, they do
Who
an
they-
actual play.
Yeah, like they charge tickets.
Yeah.
Does the audience know? If I knew that I was part of, if I like paid for tickets to watch someone get Shutter Island, I want my money back. I'd be like, no, fuck you. I shouldn't have to pay for this. So we watch a play happen where the mom's doing her therapy play.
Mm-hmm.
They rehearse. We have like a rehearsal scene.
Yeah, like it suddenly becomes like about putting this play on.
Yeah.
Again, this is a movie that began like Beach Blanket Bingo with, oh, my square-ass parents, my dad's getting married to this new broad who's going to take over the house, let's have our sex party. Then it became Lost at Sea. Then it became Gaslight, where we're terrorizing this woman into thinking she's losing her mind. Now it's become, we got to put this play on.
Folks, we got to put on a play.
This is a 98-minute film.
Yeah. Yes. The movie makes you feel like you're on drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This movie made me feel like I was insane.
Yeah. I didn't have to watch it twice, but I definitely had to rewind and watch scenes again.
Yeah.
And this was one where I was like, wait, there's an audience?
Yeah.
Is this part of the fantasy? So they put on a full fucking play.
Yeah.
The mom remembers it
Mm-hmm.
at the end, and on top of it, her career gets recovered. They're like, you're back, baby.
Yeah.
And it's like, she retired willingly. I don't know why that's a conflict, but...
I guess it was just like a happy, because she retired because she was marrying Lisa's dad,
Right.
but now he got his
But he's dead.
dumbass lost at sea, eaten by the Kraken or whatever. So now she's
Right.
like, well, I got to go back to the stage, my first love.
So basically, her and the daughter reconcile because
Yes.
the daughter's really sorry. And, like, I kind of like that aspect of, like, I'm glad they reconciled, but, like, the way they got there was absolutely bad
Right.
shit.
It was two men doing something that made no fucking
Yeah.
sense whatsoever. Like, Johnny is a med student who's already plugged into this society. Like, he is on track to make his own fortune. So why on
Right.
earth would he throw it away all the way on this harebrained scheme to maybe swindle a multi-million-dollar trust? And then her fucking wild-ass dad builds this biblical curse of a will.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck
It's
is wrong
it's
with
a
the
lot of-
guys in this movie?
Yeah, it's a lot of women going to men like, I can't handle this, can you? And then they come up with the most batshit ideas.
The most ludicrous, unhelpful
And they-
solution.
And it's
to
the same here, where
problem.
they bring it to the doctor and he's like smoking a
Let's
pipe.
put
and
on
he's
a
like,
play. Yeah.
yeah, let's we better put on a play. And it's like, these ladies
fucking
gotta
assholes.
find better dudes in their
Yeah,
life.
you guys gonna do some fucking serious, yeah.
So the police never
Personal
get
stock
involved.
needs to be taken here.
Yeah, I do like that they're like, no, fuck the police. I ain't no snitch.
Yeah.
Or handle this in the family, God damn it. Like, that's what it seems like. They're like, we don't want to ruin this young man's life by calling the police.
I kind of
And
want to
so-
ruin his life.
Yeah. And so they never call the police. They put on the play. The mother regains her memory and her career. And then they get in like a fucking limo and they're like, we did it.
Yep.
And then cut to the bad guy, Johnny, who is like in a weird slum apartment. His life kind of fell apart.
I want to
unrelated.
Yeah,
to
like
what's
an
happening.
like an unrelated. Well, it's like
He gets kicked out of the art guy's house.
it's a parallel spiral. Yeah, he gets thrown out of his house. They're like, oh no, I guess we lost our permanent. Like we kind of start to see that everybody kind of sees that Johnny's a joke.
Yes.
But yeah, this kind of is like the main part of the movie that I was like, okay, I must have missed something. So I'm fascinated to hear your interpretation of this riddle of what happens to Johnny in his final scene of the film.
All right. So he's in like a slum and he seems to be jerking off with a wig.
Yeah.
And so he's God knows where.
Right, because I believe, again, I watched it twice, but there's still probably oceans of material that I simply didn't absorb. I don't think we've seen this location before.
Yeah.
So he's just suddenly in like a slum apartment like on the docks in 1927 New York City. Like it's...
Yeah, I think the implication is that he simply spiraled and threw away his life.
Okay.
Yeah,
that checks out.
And and he's just took a lot of acid.
It's, yeah.
And in this final scene, he's just tripping balls. And essentially, it feels like maybe a scene was cut where he was dosed. But I think the implication is that he just gave up, took a bunch of acid, and is on the floor of this slum apartment laughing
Yeah.
And we're just leaving it at that.
It sounds, I agree. That is definitely what happened. It sounds very simple to people listening. So I want to stress in my own defense that the way this movie is put together,
for the record, you don't have to defend anything. Go
right.
on.
It's just the way this movie is put together to like simulate drug trips, but it's from multiple different like we talked about that already. How it keeps shifting perspectives. Like it's this movie this movie fucking defies you to follow one logical chain of events.
Yes.
Like it keeps.
I mean,
this scene alone, we're already in a movie that's featuring a bunch of weird drug trips, and then some stuff that's literal, like the boat being lost at sea, and then we get this scene that's introducing like 5 new pieces of information in the middle of also conveying that Johnny's tripping balls so bad that he starts talking to an ant.
He does, and he puts it in his pocket.
Yeah, he puts the ant in his pocket.
Can you imagine if he got up and started building a device and put on a goddamn burlap scarecrow mask? How perfect it would have been.
Yeah.
If it was just an origin for the scarecrow, but oh well.
Yeah.
And then cut to the Lean On Me ending credits song, which I was like, what?
Yeah, that was bizarre.
It's like some song about how you can lean on me, and it was like, I didn't get that from any of this movie.
I don't know
sure.
what you thought this movie said, but it wasn't that.
Yeah, it wasn't that. Here's the things that I did like about this movie. I actually really like Johnny's fate because I think it's a more positive morality tale. Obviously, most of the morality tale of this movie is broken and propaganda, but basically being like, you don't have to take down certain people. Certain people will just be their own worst enemy.
Yeah.
And that is very true in life. It is. Yeah.
Yeah. We've all known several Johnnies.
Yeah. The bullies in your life, like there's always that feeling of like, oh, I want to get them back. But like really all you have to do is just live a good life and forget about them while they self-destruct somewhere, because that's how the people like that operate. So I like the idea that she and her mom reconcile and have a great life, and then they cut to his shitty ass life.
Yeah.
I liked that. I actually liked him being like a privileged med student, even though that didn't make any sense, because that was at least not like, they could have very easily made him like a beatnik artist, which he hangs out with them.
Yeah.
But he's like a promising young man.
Yeah.
And they should have leaned into that more. Like if he was like, the cops sided with him and stuff like that, Right,
if it was more of, if they leaned more into the, like, well, I'm entitled to all of this because I just am, I'm me,
right.
That could have been, that would have made the character more believable.
There's actually...
it's not like rich people don't fucking blow themselves up trying to become more rich on a daily basis anyway. It just it's because he's so cartoonish in the movie. It's just, I don't know, it landed as very silly.
Yes, I think this movie is a great candidate for a remake because I think it had a lot of elements that the times just wouldn't allow them to actually explore in any way. I don't mean the filmmakers wanted to explore it. I just mean it probably never occurred to them.
Right, it wouldn't have even been on the table at this point.
Yeah, because they're dealing with counterculture things, they're dealing with class, they're dealing with privilege. All those things are swirling around in this movie. They're just not used correctly. In fact, it's madness. I also liked the acid sequences. I don't think it was a fair representation of being on acid, but they looked cool. They all looked like James Bond opening songs.
Yeah, again, my problem is it's hard sometimes to tell when we're supposed to understand that it's a trip or not.
Yes.
Because the whole movie is sort of enamored with kind of any time the young kids or the youth crowd is on screen, it sort of switches into more of that mode. So it's hard to tell if it's just like a motif sometimes.
Right. But when the mom's like tripping her balls out and they like do these cool little eye lights and they project images on her face, and like, you know, for the effects of the time, they're doing everything they possibly can.
Yeah.
And it kind of does look cool. It actually reminded me of there's scenes in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas where they do similar techniques. Like he's watching the TV and the images of the TV are projected on the wall in this really creepy way. So like neither films are good depictions of being on LSD, but they're really good visual choices, I think.
Mm-hmm. It's more the idea of it, yeah.
Yeah. But the movie's terrible.
Yeah, this is a bad film.
Yeah, but I definitely enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, I wasn't necessarily that bummed that I was starting it over as soon as it ended.
Did you watch it immediately after?
Yes.
You shut it off and you're like, okay, let's try that again.
Yeah, like it really,
great.
like I got to the end of it and I felt like so just disordered. I was like, there's no way that my memory of that film is accurate, and so I watched it again, and yeah, no, it was.
That's so good.
Yeah, god damn it, this fucking movie.
Yeah, they should remake it. They should remake it, and they should give it to Park Chan-wook. Park Chan-wook doing The Big Cube.
Mm-hmm.
I bet he could really nail it.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I really like. This is. I love a good like. There's a few movies out there from this era that I've been wanting them to remake, and I don't think people would think to because we only remake good movies, which is the problem, right? Like
Sometimes,
this should.
but yeah.
What?
I said sometimes. I mean, like
Sometimes.
that's, you know, you the ideal is you do the Ocean's 11 thing where you remake a bad movie, and yeah,
a bad movie that's well known, and this isn't well known. But this would make a hell of a remake if they did it right. I think there's enough here. They just have to, like, you know, make it better.
Right. I mean,
know?
judging by the job that the first go around did, like, kind of anybody deserves a shot at it at the Big Cube.
At the Big Cube, yeah. There wasn't, when it started, I was like, I wonder what the fucking cube is. Are they gonna be trapped? Are they gonna get trapped in a cube? But you figure it out really quickly.
No, it's just a sugar cube.
Big cube of acid.
Dipped in acid. Yeah. That's it.
He dips it, he like drops it in someone's beer.
Yeah.
In the party, and like he doesn't do it to fuck with them. He's like doing them a favor.
Yeah.
He says what does he say when he I wrote it.
I don't remember. I had to watch this twice just to make sure I got the sequence of events correct. I don't remember individual things that people said.
He said, I wrote them down. She said, what did you put in my drink? And he goes, get with it, doll. Because that's the dialogue of this movie. It's just a bunch of horse shit like that.
Yeah, it's a bunch of dumb shit. And then they're like, it's sugar. And then she tastes and it's like, it tastes like acid. And then everybody laughs. Yeah, and I laughed too because it was funny.
Yeah, but I don't think things taste like acid, but sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It there's also the fucked upness. He says, God, I think the mother says about the daughter to the dad, she even looks like me, and the dad just goes, I know. It's like, God damn it.
Oh, good. I'm glad you noticed. It saves me an awkward conversation on our wedding night.
Yeah. There's a way to do this. There's a few ways to do this. You could make a modern thriller.
There are many ways to do this, and this is one of them.
Yeah. I would cut out all the Shutter Island stuff. I can't fucking believe they Shutter Island her.
And that was their immediate idea.
Their immediate idea. But I think there's a comedy version where they keep like Pierce Brosnan in Mars Attacks. They keep going to like intellectual older men, and their ideas get shittier and shittier.
Just keep being like, build me a wooden rocket ship to the moon. Like, it's just
mediocre
madness.
And weird. But then there's like a modern thriller you could do, where again it can't quite be acid because I think people are smart enough to know that
people
acid doesn't work like this.
Now, yeah.
You need to make it some future drug, or I guess meth. Meth would do it. I guess no one wants to watch like a meth movie where there's like meth sequences.
I mean, you know,
Spun. Spun's a fun movie.
Yeah,
has John Leguizamo in it. John Leguizamo and Brittany Murphy in Spun with Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
Mickey Rourke's in that, right?
Probably. It sounds like something he would be in.
That's a great movie.
So yeah, The Big Cube.
Yeah, I feel like we covered everything.
I don't have anything else
There's
to say.
There's boobs in this. There
are. Yeah, there are.
That was surprising. I guess there were just. I guess movies always had boobs.
I didn't think nudity had been invented yet in 1969.
Yeah,
but I guess it had been.
I guess my question is, what was the point of this movie?
I have no idea. I truly have no idea who this was intended for. Like who their target audience was.
It's later in Lana Turner's career.
Oh yeah.
And I think it represented kind of a downfall of her career. I'm just curious, like, when a producer was like, I want this film, what did they want? Is it like just like Reefer Madness, but for LSD? It feels like it's more than that, because Reefer Madness is just about how weed will make you kill your friends.
Yeah, a homicidal maniac.
Yeah. This is more like LSD is like the weapon. So I don't know. I just don't know what the fucking point of this movie was.
This is a movie that is baffling from every possible angle.
Yes.
It's a real treat. It's a real treat.
Yeah, it's a nice reminder that you like movies like Matthew McConaughey's Serenity existed all the time.
People have been having bad ideas for quite a while. Don't let that discourage you when you have one.
But movies that change gears in incredible ways.
Yeah.
Because the moment they Shutter Island her, it's like a completely new movie. And it's like, holy fucking shit.
It's like a comedy sketch.
Yeah.
It's so out of left field, even in a movie that randomly introduced somebody getting lost at sea.
God, yeah, God damn it. The boating. And they clearly couldn't afford to put actors on boats. Mm-hmm. Did you notice that? Like the first boating scene, they do these like wide shots of the boat and then they go like really close up.
Oh, yeah.
For their conversations. And it's really weird and disjointed. Yeah, it's just a really bad movie. I guess that's it. That's all I have to say, Tom.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say about The Big Cube.
Yeah, I would honestly recommend watching it because it is fun. Because of how dumb it is.
Yeah.
And it gets a lot of those little things wrong, like the weird future cops. Like there's a lot of set design choices that's like, well, I don't know why that happened. Like in the club, the doors were lined with like ropes. Did you notice that? Like instead of bead curtains, it was like thick ropes.
This movie was such an assault, man, that the individual details were pretty lost on me. But
yeah, that's fair.
I do remember the club being just a real tough sell. Altogether. Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, guys. Yeah. I don't believe this is a real place.
No, there wasn't like they're serving drinks and food, but there wasn't like any wait staff or like a bar. Like it just looked like a rec center.
There's no windows or visible ventilation. Like
yes.
Are we on a spacecraft? What is this?
It looks like a fucking spaceship. You're right. Oh fuck. Oh. What a shitty movie.
Yeah, it's real dumb. It's a real piece of trash. Let's be done with it.
All right. Well, thanks, Burrito Mouth.
Woo!
I did appreciate this one. This one was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And if people are interested, this was done through our Patreon, and you can go to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed, along with getting your own podcasts. You can do a tier where we have exclusive podcasts, like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, and Fox Mulder is a Maniac, and Star Trek The Next Futurama. We watch movies with our patrons every Friday night as well. That's tomorrow night. Lord knows what we'll watch.
Oh, man, it could be anything. Maybe we'll watch The Big Cube.
Yeah, maybe.
We also have a store at tpublic.com/store/gamefullyunemployed. You're going to get t-shirts, masks, mugs, stickers, posters, all kinds of things. So check that out.
Check it out.
Little tiny cubes of acid for you and your ant pal.
Yeah, try acid. Mm-hmm. Can't stress that enough.
Ideally, at sea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go to the ocean, do some acid.
Real tight
see what
close-ups,
happens.
though, so the ocean's not visible.
Right. Here's the best part, is it recommending to someone to go out into the sea and do acid. If something goes wrong, they're not going to sue us because they'll,
Yeah, you'll be lost at sea.
They'll be lost at sea. So, yeah, it's perfect crime.
Not my fault you threw those dice, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like...
The Big Cube!
I guess that's it.
Big cube.